What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today's video is going to be about paperwork in the California Department of Corrections. Hold on. Thanks to Wes Watson, you know, the whole paperwork thing has become somewhat of a joke, and he has wrapped around it some type of I don't know what you would call it. I've heard Wes say that everywhere he went, he had his paperwork hooped, and because he was that motherfucker, everywhere he went, immediately they knew who he was. So I didn't understand. If everywhere you go they know who you are, why are you keystering your paperwork? So today I'm gonna get into my experience over 24 years in California Department of Corrections when it comes to paperwork. Now, is it unheard of for somebody to keister their paperwork when they're transferring from one institution to another? No, it's not. However, in my experience, if a dude is keystering his paperwork to get from one institution to another, he feels some kind of threat is on him. He's under some type of investigation, or he feels where he left, things weren't right. He knows he was under the microscope. So when he gets to wherever he's going, he's going to be like, boom, here's my shit, homie. I know the homies were tripping on this, and that. So he lets them know, look, I ain't hiding from shit, homie. Here's my shit. Here's what was going on. I'm right here for whatever. That's what the only time I ever heard of somebody like, I mean, yeah, you want to be that super, you know, whatever, then yeah, maybe somebody do that. But, you know, most vatos be like, what the fuck's he hooping his paperwork for? Secondly, I'm more used to when somebody gets a transfer, like on a level 4, you're going to get a transfer. It's usually going to be an adverse transfer, right? Now, it could also be a shoe kick out. So you could be coming out of the security housing unit, you know, out of Pelican Bay, out of Corcoran, and being sent to one of the 180 yards, right? When that happens, you will be given huilas or kites, aka notes, from dudes in the shoe, because it's going to be like, hey, homie, where are you going to? Well, I'm going to New Folsom. Orale, hey, can you take something for me? Yeah, I got you. And there's going to be some directives, maybe some rule changes, or just something somebody needs to get to the leadership of that facility you're going to, that institution you're going to. Give me 1 second. And they need to get something to that. Now, if, for an example, let's say you are in the shoe, whatever shoe it is, and you are asked to deliver a huila, that right there is letting, when you land, they know, oh, he's firme. They trusted him to bring this to me. It's going to be something hot. You don't do that to somebody that's not cleared, right? Now, you get there, you give it to them, you get your property, you slide your paperwork. Here you go, homie. You give it to the bloquero. The bloquero checks it out. Then he kicks it up to the mess as far as a-holes. It's all good. He doesn't need to say. The dudes running the yard don't want the headaches. Bloquero will take care of that, right? Another thing, as far as paperwork itself, for those of you that don't understand, it's not your trial transcripts. It's not police reports. What they're gonna look for, what I always wanted was 2 pieces of paper. I wanted the 128G chrono, classification chrono, and I wanted the legal status summary sheet. The 128G was gonna say what committee had to say about you, as far as your cell designations, if there's an R on your jacket, you know, any bad cases, that's gonna be on there. It's gonna have your nickname, your neighborhood. It's gonna have all that on there, right? The legal status summary is going to be what you were convicted of, what county you were convicted in, how much time you were given, who your attorney was. It's going to say all that stuff. So those are the two things that I looked for. Most places, they'll just say, hey, just slide the 128G, right? They're not going to get into police reports and all that unless you're under investigation. And in my experience, if something comes up with your name, right, I already have the legal status summary. I already know what county you got convicted in. I know your lawyer. I know all that, right? If something comes up where maybe there's something foul on you, the last thing that a professional is going to do is go back to you or send the bloquero, hey, homie, do you mind if I see your transcripts and your police reports? Because if something is funny with that dude, the alarm goes off in his head. And he's like, yeah, let me grab that for you, homie. He'll slide it and then he disappears. So you let him get away. As far as the raza, especially raza from Southern California, when somebody lands on your yard and if they're no good and you go to them and you ask them for the police reports, basically setting the alarm, you're basically telling them, hey, Holmes, we don't want to hit you. Just PC up. That's a horrible look for the leadership. So in that case, something comes up with somebody, say, okay, cool. I already know, again, because the legal status summary, I know where you got convicted, right? It used to cost $5, eh? So we figure, hey, Holmes, even check this out. We had to do it once in the Bay Area, San Jose. Hey, Holmes, the homie, so-and-so, hey, do me a favor. Have your lady or your sister or somebody go to the courthouse and pull this shit. They can go up there, it costs $5. Go to the county clerk's office. You get the fool's police reports right there. Then we get them, check them out. Either he's cleared or he's not. We'll figure it out. But you never go up to somebody, hey, Holmes, I need this. You know, anything that's going to set somebody off that's under investigation, you don't give them the upper hand where, hey, we're getting closer now. You know, go ahead and cancel Christmas, big dog. That's not going to happen. Also, the protocol while I was around, you know, while I was doing my thing was when you want to get somebody's paperwork, it's a delicate thing as far as you always want to be respectful, right? Most vatos are schooled. If they've never been in the joint, when you're in the county jail, you know, hey, homie, when you land somewhere, you got to be professional, eh? Don't have them come and ask you for your paperwork because you're going to feel offended, right? When you land somewhere, as soon as you get your property, they're going to know, bam, hey, homie, here's my shit. Hey, gracias, homie, I appreciate that, right? Also, add SAG, right? Say you go to the hole. Again, I'm speaking from my experience, right? Let's say somebody comes to the hole. They land in the cell where I'm the closest dude that can get at them, right? So first thing, they come in, boom, once the hood has cleared the tier. I'm like, hey, Holmes, hey, what's your name? If I don't know them, what's your name? Where you from, homie? And if they're, you know, same thing, then it's like, okay, hey, check this out. Once you're done cleaning your pad and shit, make up a line, and I'm gonna slide my line down there to you, all right? Orale. They already know. If they know, then they already know. So they'll clean their cell, they'll twist up a line, and they'll call you back. They're gonna ask you, hey, what's your name? You introduce yourself. And they say, hey, Holmes, listo. I'm gonna slide my line down to them. Once they tie on, I'm gonna say, give me all the slack. Because when they make the first line, maybe they just want to make enough to be able to answer. They know I'm gonna have enough slack on my line. Slide my line down there. They pull it in. I'm gonna tell them, give me all the slack you got. I'm gonna pull it down. What I'm gonna do, and what 9 times out of 10 happens, because that's the respectful way to do it, is I'm gonna tie my 114 lockup order. Meaning, when you go to the hole, they give you 114 lockup order, which explains why you're in that SAG, right? So I'm gonna tie my paperwork on the line, and I'm gonna tell them, pull that shit, right? They're gonna pull it into their cell. They're gonna see who I am, so they know this is legit, right? Orale, gracias. They're gonna send me a kite with their lockup orders. We go if one dude, two dude, whatever it is, they're gonna send their paperwork down. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna send it where it needs to go, and that's usually how paperwork was handled. It's a sticky situation when somebody has to go and tell somebody, hey, homie, let me get your paperwork. How do you think that would feel? Unless you're a sucker, you're gonna be like, what you mean, homie? Let me see your paperwork, right? So that's why it's always best when somebody is schooled in the county or wherever before they hit a fucking serious facility. Know that as soon as you get your property, hey, Holmes, here's my stuff, hey. Spencer, it took so long, I barely got my property. Don't even trip, homie. We already know, right? Also, when selling up with somebody, you could be on the yard with somebody for 6 months and you guys decide you want to sell up, right? Let's say a homie moves into my cell. My cell's going to be clean as fuck. All he's got to do is bring his shit in. But best believe that I'm going to put my paperwork on his bunk. That way I don't have to ask for his. I'm being respectful. My paperwork is on his bunk. When he comes in, brings his shit in, he's going to see it's on his rack. He's going to throw his mattress up there. He's going to grab it, look at it, hand me his. I'm going to look at it. Boom. Cool. What's up, homie? How you doing? That was the protocol I was used to. All this, Superman shit where, I keistered my paperwork everywhere. And yeah, that's fine. You could do that. But there's going to be, keep it real, there would be guys that are going to laugh at you. Be like, órale, Holmes, we got fucking super duper over here, eh? He's ready. And people watch him like, is he a J-Cat? You know what I mean? Like, but again, it usually, I can't speak for the Woods. The Woods will let me know in the comments section. But I know for Raza down south, homie, if you feel like you need to hoop your paperwork and take it and bring it, like, hey, Holmes, here's my shit. It's like, what are you scared of? Like, you afraid to wait 14 days or 7 days? Or some places they'll issue, if you're lucky, they'll issue your property the day you get there, right? So, and even if it takes 30 days, the homies know. Hey, the vato got his property, Holmes. Did he slide that? Nah. Okay. Go and ask for it. Now they're not going to ask for it nice. Because if you got your property and you wait a couple of days and you still haven't kicked it out, you'll be like, hey, homie, what's going on? Didn't you get your property the other day? Now it's a whole different vibe, whole different tone. Right? So if you got nothing to hide and you ain't running from nothing, why would you do that? You're, like I said, even if you're going from one joint to another, I'll tell you this. It used to be known where if you went to the Bay, the only way you were going to get a transfer out of Pelican Bay, A or B yard, which was the main lines, C and D are the shoes, security housing units. The only way you were going to get out of there is if you whacked somebody and went to the shoe. When you were in Pelican Bay shoe, you could get endorsed to other prisons. Once you hit A and B yard, no prison wanted you. The only prison that would do swaps with Pelican Bay was High Desert. That goes back to how those two prisons were viewed as the worst of the worst get housed there. I remember those that are there would remember this, but prior to the riot in 2000 in Pelican Bay, the Hurons know everything. I laugh when people think, on the GP yards that everybody's keeping it super solid. Listen, dudes are snitching constantly. Dudes can't pay their debts. They're giving up who's running the yard, hoping they roll that dude up, and then they don't roll him up. Now the motherfucker knows he's a fucking rat, and he's still got to pay the debt. You dumb fuck. You just made everything worse. But prior to the riot, they actually pulled in all the dudes that were running the yard, B facility. And they told them, we know that there's tension on the yard because of you guys. You guys aren't letting up. And we're thinking about swapping you guys with the mess over there in High Desert. I remember the dudes coming out, and I remember one specifically from Tortilla Flats. He was on the mess on B yard, and he was like, fuck, they fucking pulled us in and said they're going to swap us. So, anyways, yeah, prison is a trip. Once again, you don't want to go there, and I just felt like doing this one on the paperwork because I know, people outside of California don't know how California gets down. And every faction out here does their thing differently. It's unique to their faction. But I'm giving you what my experience was. It was always respectful. You didn't come at anybody tough. And before I go, let me tell you guys something. When not this time, they're out now, but before, when the legends were out, they didn't just jam people up for their paperwork. They did their thing different, whatever it was. It was after they slammed them all down that things got different. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I went to Pelican Bay Shoe 4 times during my incarceration, right? Never once was I ever asked. That's the only place. Never once was I asked when I got there, hey, let me see your paperwork, homie. There it was different. You would get there, let's say me and my cellie, I got a cellie, or maybe I didn't. But this is what you do. This is what my experience was. You get there, as soon as they open your door for yard, which you go by yourself, it's just it's another cell in the pod, right? You come out and you ask the homie, hey, which legends are here? And they'll tell you. There might be 1 in that unit. There might be 8. Depends. But you're gonna hear the names. If you know one, let's say you know personally, you know one, you're gonna go to the front of the pod and you're gonna call out to that legend. Hey, so and so. You're gonna be like, yeah, who's that? Hey, this is so and so. I'm over here in F pod. Just got here last night or just got here this morning. Sending my saludos, this and this and that. Then you say, órale, all right, Holmes. He knows you, so you're cleared. If it's somebody that none of them know, somebody that does know you will be like, hey, I knew the vato over here. He was feed man. Okay, cool. He just co-signed for you. I mean, don't get me wrong. There probably were blocks where they were like, hey, homie, can I get that? But I never, because they did things different. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's early in the morning. I got a lot to do today, so I'm up bright and early. The dog's asleep on my feet. Everybody, please stay safe, stay smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.